In the early hours of September 15, 2019, 14-year-old Alicia Navarro left a handwritten note for her family in Glendale, Arizona. "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry." These would be the last words her mother would have from her daughter before a nearly 4-year odyssey began. Alicia was not your typical teenager. Diagnosed with high-functioning autism, she found comfort in routine and struggled with social interactions. She preferred long-sleeved shirts, regardless of Arizona's scorching heat, ate the same foods, and found solace in online gaming communities like Minecraft and Discord. In the months before her disappearance, Alicia's behavior shifted dramatically. Her interests suddenly expanded to include comic books, classic rock, and fitness products. She began showing interest in makeup and body sprays, changes her mother Jessica attributed to typical high school peer pressure. The day before she vanished, Alicia stayed home from school due to anxiety. She and her mother spent the day together, visiting McDonald's and getting their eyebrows threaded. That night, between midnight and 1 a.m., she came downstairs for water, told her mother she loved her, and returned to her room. Hours later, she would be gone. The morning of September 15th revealed 2 chairs positioned against the backyard fence, Alicia's apparent escape route. She had taken her laptop, cell phone, body spray, cosmetics, and a comic book. Crucially, she left behind all charging devices, suggesting a planned return. The last confirmed sighting came 4 days later at La Pradera Park, just 1.5 miles from her home. Witnesses reported seeing a girl matching Alicia's description, speaking with an African-American man who had tattoos on his hands, neck, and face. For nearly 4 years, the case remained cold until July 2023, when 18-year-old Alicia walked into a Havre, Montana police department asking to be removed from the missing persons list. She was found living with 36-year-old Edmund Davis. The story took a dark turn in October 2023 when Davis was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of sexual abuse after inappropriate children-related material was discovered on his cell phone, a device he had attempted to hide in trash when police initially searched their shared apartment. Following the police raid, Alicia and Davis relocated to the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation in August. In October 2024, Davis pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of a minor. The case of Alicia Navarro stands as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in online spaces, where predators can groom vulnerable young people. Her mother's initial fears about online predators proved tragically prescient, leading to a 4-year separation that began with a hastily written note and ended in a small Montana police station. On a cold December evening in 1994, the city of Fort Smith, Arkansas, would become the starting point of a tragic mystery that continues to haunt the community to this day. A 19-year-old college student named Melissa "Missy" Witt disappeared from a bowling alley parking lot, launching a desperate search that would end in a devastating discovery. Melissa Witt was everything a parent could hope for in a daughter. An honors student at West Ark Community College, she balanced her academic pursuits with a part-time job as a dental assistant. Those who knew her described her as friendly and kind-hearted, traits that served her well as she worked toward her dream of becoming a dental hygienist. December 1st, 1994, began like any other day. That morning, Missy had a minor disagreement with her mother, Mary Ann, over borrowing money. Before leaving for work, Mary Ann left her daughter a note expressing her love and mentioning she would be at a local bowling alley later if Missy wanted to join her for a meal. Between 6:30 and 7 p.m. that evening, after finishing her classes and work, Missy drove to Bowling World. she would never make it inside. Evidence discovered in the parking lot painted a violent picture: bloodstains, Missy's keys, and a single earring, all indicators of a struggle that would be her last moments of freedom. For 6 agonizing weeks, Missy's whereabouts remained unknown. Then, on January 13, 1995, 2 hunters made a grim discovery in the Ozark National Forest, 45 miles from Fort Smith. Missy's body had been placed near a distinctive headstone-shaped rock. She had been stripped of her clothing and personal belongings, items that to this day have never been recovered. The investigation would eventually lead authorities to examine Larry Swearingen as a person of interest. Swearingen, who would later be convicted and executed for the murder of another 19-year-old woman named Melissa Trotter in Texas, was known to be in the area when Missy disappeared. The similarities between the 2 cases were striking. Both victims were 19, and both bodies were discovered in forested areas. However, Swearingen denied any involvement in Missy's murder until his execution in 2009. 29 years later, the case remains unsolved, but not forgotten. Investigative team has recently offered a $29,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Missy's Mickey Mouse watch and the arrest and conviction of her killer. They are particularly interested in locating 2 potential witnesses: a short man with a mustache and glasses who was seen smoking outside Bowling World that day, and a couple with a young child who were observed walking across the parking lot. A documentary about Missy's case is in development, and advocates have launched a billboard campaign to keep her story in the public eye. Despite the passage of time, investigators and family members refuse to let Missy's case grow cold. For nearly 3 decades, the question remains: who killed Missy Witt? Someone knows what happened in that bowling alley parking lot on that December evening. Someone holds the key to bringing justice for Missy and closure to a community that has never forgotten her. On a spring evening in 1988, in the small farming community of Linwood, Kansas, population 377, a teenager's disappearance would launch one of the state's most perplexing missing persons cases. Randy Wayne Leach was just weeks away from his high school graduation. The 17-year-old honor student lived with his parents, Harold and Alberta Leach, on a 10-acre farm where he helped tend to their menagerie of animals, including rabbits, chickens, a horse, a dog, and his prized pig named Pork Chop. Randy was known throughout the community as a responsible young man who ran his own lawn mowing business and maintained strong grades. April 15, 1988, started as an ordinary day. Randy was in particularly good spirits, having just received a new John Deere lawn tractor from his father the previous day. He spent over 4 hours meticulously mowing his parents' property, then cleaned the tractor until it gleamed like new before preparing to head out for the evening. Randy borrowed his mother's gray 1985 Dodge 600, license plate LVJ8721, and made his way to a pre-graduation party at the Irwin farm. What happened next remains one of Kansas's most baffling mysteries. Despite numerous partygoers present that night, no one can definitively recall seeing Randy leave. He simply vanished, along with his mother's car. The following morning, when Randy failed to return home, Harold and Alberta Leach reported their son missing to the Leavenworth County Sheriff's Department. In the 36 years since Randy's disappearance, not a single trace of him or the vehicle has ever been found. Multiple witness interviews with party attendees have yielded frustratingly few leads. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation maintains a $25,000 reward for information leading to the resolution of Randy's case. The disappearance of a young man with such promise, a student athlete who was planning to attend trade school that fall, continues to haunt this small Kansas community. For Harold and Alberta Leach, their son's last known moments were spent doing what he loved, taking pride in his work, caring for his family's property, and looking forward to his future. A future that, for reasons still unknown, would never come to pass.